This is actual video shot that day. Costa Rican immigration officials, police, investigators, and PANI, Costa Rican's Child Protective Services, all went to the Brower house. Lance and Kirk were there, but Camille, Lenan, and her new baby were not.
They didn't find any sign of them. They didn't find any photographs of Camille in the house. The whole thing had been picked clean.
It was a bust. They'd been tipped off.
The community knew that police were in the area, and that's kind of what tipped Lynn in.
I thought that now we've blown it. They know we're onto them. They're gonna run. They're gonna get deeper. They might go to another country, and we have to start this whole process over again.
Galen was forced to go back home without Camille.
One night I was just thinking, I should just call the house, you know, and talk to him.
Kirk picked up the phone.
He said, yes, this is very unfortunate. You know, Camille should be with you. This needs to end.
Threatened with the possibility of losing their doctor's licenses, Lance and Lenan eventually agreed it was time to give Camille back to Galen. And on December 7th, at a hotel in Costa Rica, it happened. After nearly 2 years apart. Galen is able to wrap his arms around his little girl again.
You know, I'd be lying if I said it was easy, because there are a lot of adjustments that everyone's making, and Camille especially, and my family. So we're finding our new balance.
It is a bittersweet time. Camille's happy to be home, but she's also very confused.
Right now, Camille will tell you that she believes her mother can't be wrong. And so that's what we have to deprogram, because her mother is wrong.
They're on a new journey together now, trying to pick up where they left off and make up for the precious time they lost.
I was starting to feel that if it would go much longer, that it would be very damaging. So in some sense, I feel that it was just in time, and we're going to be okay.
Just a heartbreaking story that happens to have a really, really good ending. And of course, the story brought to you by Delane Matthew. And a big part of getting Camille back is because of Kelly Riddle, a private investigator. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
My pleasure, thanks.
To see things come full circle like that, to see them happy, to see them hugging, it makes what you do so well worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we had a good time with it. Unfortunately, Delane had worked up a pretty good case before I was brought into it, and so she enabled me to take some of those leads and work them a little further.
And I do want to point out that, you know, this whole story, it really, we have to thank you for helping to bring this family back together. You did a lot of work on this.
I immediately got attached to this family. By the way, I have a sprained foot. I can see it in the shot. Everyone's going to be, what's wrong with their foot? But yes, you know, this story fell into my lap, and I thought, oh my goodness, we've got to try to do something. And then Brian Collister, our investigator with the troubleshooters, told me about Kelly Riddle. He said, I don't know if you know Kelly, but he's an amazing private investigator. And so, Kelly, tell me about how you took the reins and those leads just started coming in for you.
Absolutely. Well, you know, you and I talked about it initially, and from the very get-go, you know, I was of the mindset that if we could find Lance, the boyfriend, we would find her, because you know, you had pretty much worked all the local leads.
But we couldn't talk about Lance, remember, because the FBI said, don't mention this guy. We don't want to tip him off.
That's exactly right.
And drive them further away. So we couldn't even report that.
Yeah, and he had actually, you know, left the United States, and he was from Germany, so we had an investigation going on in Germany trying to find him, and so it, you know, had several continents involved, which made it even more difficult.
Right. So everybody wants to know, so what happens to Lenan and Lance now? They get to live their lives wherever they want to, or at least in Costa Rica, not the U.S., or what?
Well, yeah, unfortunately, you know, as long as they don't come back in the United States, Lenan still has a warrant for her arrest for parental kidnapping. And so if she tries to come back in the United States, she will be stopped, and she will have to face the prosecution related to that. But Lance, on the other hand, he was not charged with anything, and so he pretty much can come and go as he wants.
And now Galen told me that, you know, now Lenan has a new baby in Costa Rica, so he doesn't want to pursue her arrest because, you know, he doesn't want to interfere with her life now with this new baby. That's just what a nice guy he is. But just the fact of knowing that they constantly have to be looking over their shoulders because you never know. That's the problem, you know, and you know, it's a double-edged sword for them because, you know, he doesn't want to pursue her
he wants Camille to still have contact with Lynn Ann, but with boundaries. And you know, how do you limit those boundaries? That's the big issue.
Well, they are allowed to email back and forth, Camille and her mother, but Galen's watching very, very closely.
Oh, thank you so much for doing this story, and thank you for your help in finding her.
Appreciate
Absolutely
it.
amazing.
Thanks for bringing me in on it.
We want to let you know that you can find out more about Camille and Delane's story by going to our website, WOAI.com. And if you would like to find Kelly, he is a private investigator out on Jackson Keller, go to kelmarpi.com, KELMARPI.com, or call for more information, 342-0509. Coming up next on San Antonio Living.